Nobody gets left behind.
Walt Disney Pictures presents Lilo and Stitch.
Yes, in honor of its 15th anniversary, I will be doing a collection of reviews for all 4 movies in the Lilo and Stitch series. For some, it may sound like an odd choice to do for an anniversary special, but the truth is, this franchise has been a huge part of my life over the years. It really means a lot to me, and since this week marks the original's 15th anniversary and the annual experiment days, 624, 625 and 626, I just wanted to take this time to commemorate it by providing full reviews for all the films. Let's begin with the one that started it all. Lilo and Stitch is directed by Chris Sanders and Dean DeBlois, and is the 42nd theatrical feature film produced by Walt Disney Animation Studios. After his creator is arrested for unlawful scientific experimentation, his most prized and destructive creation, identified as Experiment 626, is sentenced to exile. He escapes and crash lands on the small Hawaiian island of Kauai, where he encounters a little girl named Lilo. Recently orphaned, isolated, and facing separation from her older sister from social services, she adopts the alien believing him to be a puppy and renames him Stitch. Although essentially using her as a shield to hide from bumbling bounty hunters, Lilo's unconditional love and faith in family could be the key to helping Stitch grow to become a loyal and caring friend. Arguably the shining star of Disney's post-Renaissance animated films, Lilo and Stitch might be considered underrated today, but after its release in 2002, it quickly evolved into one of the studio's most lucrative and memorable franchises. The success of the film led to 3 sequels, a 65-episode TV show, video games, merchandise, an anime series that, although problematic, is honestly better than most people give it credit for, and even a recently released Chinese adaptation. But none of it would have been possible without this original motion picture, which is still a simply delightful movie 15 years later. Leading an outstanding voice cast, Devay Chase is absolutely perfect as Lilo, bringing wonderful emotional range and believability to her performance. She's funny, unique and charming, but can also be rude and violent when provoked, much of which is due to bullying and the loss of her parents. This exact balance of innocence and brassiness, coupled with the emotional weight of her situation, is what makes the character an adorable, realistic, and sympathetic protagonist. I know plenty of people have been saying it for years, but honestly, it is hard to believe that this little girl is played by the same actress who portrayed a creepy and murderous child in The Ring just 4 months later. Older sister Nani, voiced superbly by Tia Carrera, is equally easy to relate to and empathise with, as she's suddenly forced to find a job that she can receive suitable hours and income from, has the parental responsibility of raising her little sister, and has to prove her capability to a social worker. Rounding out the supporting cast are Ving Rhames as the family's stern, no-nonsense overseer, ironically named Cobra Bubbles, David Ogden Stiers as Stitch's brilliant yet eccentric creator Jumbo Jukiba, Kevin MacDonald as the goofy alleged Earth expert Pleakley, Kevin Michael Richardson as the fierce and impatient Captain Gantu, and Chris Sanders himself, who does fantastic work bringing life, personality and depth to the immensely lovable titular alien. Around the early 2000s, the studio definitely entered a more experimental era with their films, and this is certainly no exception, as it exchanges the traditional and familiar formula for a bizarre combination of sci-fi comedy and family drama. Somehow though, it works. The genres never clash, the tone never loses consistency, and despite its unconventional narrative and direction, there's never a moment where it doesn't feel like a Disney film. The zany and unpredictable antics from Stitch and the aliens provide plenty of hilarious and memorable moments for the whole family to enjoy, while the difficult situation that Lilo and Nani face is executed with incredible authenticity. These sisters genuinely interact like actual siblings, a dynamic that unfortunately was heavily lost in the TV series. And despite being the barrier that stands between them, Bubbles is never portrayed as an antagonist. He's just a guy doing his job, and there are times when you can sense that he's clearly unhappy with his work. The friendship that grows between Lilo and Stitch is a funny, sweet, and endlessly heartwarming one. And with the movie's iconic mantra that Ohana means family, and family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten, it shows that if you're really dedicated, you can turn even the most destructive or obnoxious individual in your life into a much better person. All this results in a picture that is a tremendous blend of classic and contemporary for Disney. While the aliens are all creatively designed, several of the humans are drawn with a little pudginess to them, giving them a far more realistic look than many cartoons tend to offer. Additionally, the film's watercolour painted backgrounds, Disney's first use of this visual style since Dumbo, beautifully breathe life into its warm and lush Hawaiian setting. Along with two terrific original songs, the score from Alan Silvestri is playful, exciting, and sentimental at all the right moments. But it's the inclusion of several timeless Elvis Presley classics that really elevate the movie's soundtrack to marvellous heights. I remember the first time I saw this film when it was in cinemas, and honestly being afraid to admit that I loved it. When you're a teenager, especially one on the autistic spectrum, some of the things you long for are acceptance and understanding from your peers. And when I was at school, it generally wasn't considered socially acceptable to like animation. Unless, of course, it was The Simpsons or Family Guy. But the more I rewatched it, the more I felt connected to its story and characters, which in turn helped me through some really difficult times. When a film, TV show, or franchise of any genre or medium can have such a positive and meaningful impact on your life like that, I see no reason to be ashamed of it. So rather than hide it any longer, I embraced it, and Lilo and Stitch has been my favourite film ever since. With all that said, it should come as no surprise that I am rating it a 10. So you've just seen me spend a good few minutes praising this film. Now as always, I'd like to hear from you. If you've seen it, please let me know what you thought in the comments. And be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and follow me on social media if you liked this review and want to keep up to date. Tune in on the 24th as we continue the Lilo and Stitch review series with Stitch the Movie. Thank you all for watching as always, and I hope to see you again next time I'm here to bring the review for you.